All right, welcome to the Fantasy View Global, and we obviously had our team, and we obviously gonna be doing game week 3 reaction because you know what will went ahead to happen, and this is how our team was really looking for match day 3, and it really had David Raya in goal, and because we went ahead obviously concede that free kick, I think resulted into him really getting a very weird number or really rating, and he got only 2, So that is David Raya for you. So he really scored 2 points for our side of the Fantasy View Global. Now, my back 3 really had Livramento, who really represented for Newcastle, and Newcastle over the weekend came up and obviously played Newcastle over the weekend came up and obviously played against Aston Villa, and it's not that they never played Aston Villa. Newcastle went ahead to obviously play Leeds, and they drew 0-0, and Livramento got 6 points in there for you. We go to Matthias de Ligt. United went ahead to concede 2 goals, and when they conceded 2 goals, obviously there is no way he could exceed getting 1 point, because his central defense went ahead to obviously get into goals, and that's why Matthias de Ligt went ahead to obviously getting 1 point. The hugest in our back 4 was all about Mark Gehi. Mark Gehi represented for Crystal Palace. He represented for Crystal Palace, and Palace went ahead to beat a team called Aston Villa by 3-0. And for your own shock, they got these 3 points from the Villa Park. And Mark Gehi scored a thriller in what we call the 68th minute. That's why he really had 15 points into that back 4. So when you look at our back 4, it went ahead to collect to us David Raya 2 points plus 6 of Livramento. Those are 8. Matthias de Ligt 19, and the 15 of Mark Gehi. That takes us to 24 points in match day 3. That is all what we got from that side in there for you. So that is the back 4 for the side of our team of the Fantasy View Global. We go to the midfield. Rangers, I really put him in that position because I need to eat that. They're obviously going to be playing a side called Brighton, and I thought that City, having gone ahead to lose to the side of Crystal Palace, they would have gone ahead to find it very easy to obviously create a very huge havoc at the American Express Stadium, where Brighton really hosts their games. But to my surprise, they really went ahead to lose by 2-1. They took a lead for the lion's share of they took a lead for the lion's share of the game, but it was never possible for them to win it because Brighton pulled one back, and they went ahead obviously to score a winner, and it ended 2-1 in favor of Brighton. So Rangers got us 2 points. Adingra represented for Sunderland, and Sunderland went ahead to beat Brighton by 2-1. I don't know why Adingra is one of those that went ahead to obviously get in just 1 point, yet into the starting 11 of Sunderland. Adingra, he was not part of the starting 11 of Sunderland, right? And he just came off the bench. So I now understand why it really went down like that. And Cunha got us 1 point. Remember, he got injured in that game of Manchester United when you're playing against Burnley at Old Trafford. And I really believe that if at all he never got injured, Cunha would have gone to collect us some good points into the mix. Mohamed Salah, playing against Arsenal, and he represented to the fullest. It really never went down well for him because he was pocketed well by Carafiori, and I think he never even had a moment of brilliancy. that is Mohamed Salah for you. And you also don't remember any moment where he was really very, very, very deadly into the mix. Now, we go to the front three. Gyökeres really looked bad against Liverpool. I really thought that he could obviously pull in a trigger. And Ekitike also went ahead to get us 2 points in there. João Pedro for Chelsea. He was one of those that really went ahead to score for Chelsea as they beat West Ham by 2 goals to nil. He was one of the goal scorers in there. So he went ahead and obviously put in a very huge shift in there that saw the side of Chelsea really collect in those well-desired points. 3 points in there for you, and they really put in a very huge shift in there. So that is how things really panned out for the side of João Pedro in there, and they really went ahead to put in a very, very, very huge shift, and that's why he really got us 9 points. So we go to the bench. The bench had Trafford for City, conceded 2 goals. He got 2 points. Patrick Dogu, he never featured. He never really played any minute into the game of Manchester United and Burnley. He was off the bench and really got us 0 points. William Saliba, you know what happened. He really went ahead to get an injury at the beginning of the first half, and he was really taken off. Pathé Sarr, he collected only 2 points. So if you are to really add up all this, our team went ahead to obviously go in for 44 points, 44 points. And this is our first scoring week in there for you, because we missed out on the first 2 games, and now we are really having 44 points. Overall rank, we are at 11 million total players. There are 11 million. And game week points, we are really 44 for the Fantasy View Global. And I tell you, we'll never miss out onto this. I tell you, we will never miss out onto this game week. So let's wait and see how things pan out. But it's really one of those moments that you have to look at in there for you. So that is our first game week, according to us. But for fantasy, it's game week 3. People have already gone ahead, obviously, supersede us. But I tell you what, we're obviously going to be coming up with a much more improved team. With Cunha and Saliba injured in our team, that means we need to get in other players. And I suggest that I'm obviously going to be changing this entire team. I'm really going to be making some transfers in these 2 weeks and see to it that all goes on well as planned. And we have to keep an eye onto the international break to see which players obviously going to be returning when they are really fit and those that are not really fit. So I promise you that I'll really deliver as expected, and I'm obviously going to be dropping in more stories of the injured players and those players that are not really injured. So the bad thing is that Liverpool and Arsenal had to face one another. And in this team, you have David Raya, Saliba, Gyökeres. That is for the side of Arsenal. Liverpool, we are having Ekitike and Mohamed Salah, of which none of those players really went ahead, obviously put in a very huge shift. I'm obviously going to be making some huge transfers. I think I'm obviously going to be selling one player and really getting in Szoboszlai, because Szoboszlai is really looking good in that position that he's really playing into the mix. Suggestions into the comment section on who do you think I should get into my team very, 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 very early as it stands right about now. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. This is the game week 3 reaction, and hope you guys will obviously enjoy this to the fullest. But that is our team, and those are the points that we went ahead to obviously score as our team, and you've seen it very well. So let's see how game week 4 really goes on, because Liverpool is playing at Burnley, Manchester United is playing at what you call the Etihad Stadium, then we are having Arsenal hosting Nottingham, Newcastle will be playing which team? I need to obviously look through this fixture and really understand how I'll obviously come this. Newcastle is going to be hosting Wolverhampton Wanderers, a game that I think Newcastle will obviously go ahead and obviously win. So Crystal Palace is another one that will see themselves really play against which team? Crystal Palace. Where are you at? After returning from the international break. Palace will host Sunderland. Huge game that we need to obviously come out and really look at and see to it that all goes on well as planned. I'm out.